This one digital product listing on Etsy is bringing in over $3,700 a month. And the best part is that it's just 1 month old, proving that new listings on Etsy have a chance to get lots of sales if you are creating them correctly. In this video, I'm going to go over what this digital design product is and how you can quickly make it with AI. If you are new to the channel, I'm Bailey, the owner of Bailey Design Co., and am a 7-figure digital product seller on the Etsy platform, and I now teach others how to replicate my success with AI designs on Etsy with this YouTube channel and my online communities. If you know the channel, you probably assume that the 20-ounce skinny tumbler digital designs like these that I talk about most often are the most popular design to sell right now. But after doing some research, the 40-ounce tumbler wrap actually has a higher monthly search volume and way less competition. And if you have no idea what sublimation designs are, they are basically a specific type of PNG design that is created for crafters to use on their blank sublimation products like these via a heat method or a heat press, and some even used for print-on-demand products. There are actually hundreds of different types of sublimation products to create designs for, which is why one of the reasons my shop has done so well. While the 20-ounce tumbler design is the most often created design, if you are just starting out with creating these types of digital products, then starting out with a less competitive product like the 40-ounce tumbler is going to get you results quicker. These are just a few examples in my own shop, and I actually don't have very many, but as you can see clearly, the revenue that these designs have brought in are well over $1,000 and $2,000 per listing. Looking outside my shop on Etsy, I typed in 40-ounce tumbler wrap, and these are some of the top earning listings I saw when I used my Everbee extension to see what listings were making the most. And yes, the shop name, listing, and photo is blurred out to keep the identity of these sellers anonymous. And as a side note, this listing here is actually from a seller who is in one of my communities, and their listing is also just 1 month old as well. So moving on to the design process. So this is a design from my shop, and I'm just pulling this up to show you the approximate dimensions. The top is 13 by 5.8 inches, while the bottom is 10.5 by 3.7 inches. If you need to remember this, you can just take a look at one of my listings on my shop, and it will have the approximate dimensions there listed. So a couple of things to note when designing for these types of tumblers specifically. As you can tell, this has like a distressed look where there is not a harsh line. If you take a look at some of these bestsellers on Etsy, you will notice that none of them have a harsh line if they are selling well on the first couple of pages. They are either distressed or they don't have part of the design that actually it is a transparent background, meaning that none of the design is cut off. This is an example right here of one that does have a harsh line, meaning they did not apply any type of distressed effect or just have parts of the design with a transparent background, and these tend to not sell as well. So for this design tutorial, I'm actually going to be creating one that is like this, meaning there is not going to be an issue with lining up either part of the design. There are no harsh edges because all of the parts of the design are just isolated within the design, meaning they don't overlap each other on either side, and there is no reason to have to make this seamless or try to match up the other end of the design, if that makes sense. This would be considered a design that needed to be made seamless and then have this distressed effect applied. And to do this, I actually have a Canva template that I created where you make your design in its 10 by 5.8, and then you just drop it into this Canva frame and it does the distressing part for you, and there are no harsh edges. This is available on my shop, and again, it is just a Canva frame, so you just drop in your design after it's already been created and it will format it to the correct size, and you'll just save that as a transparent PNG. So over here in Kittl, I'm just clicking on New Project, and we'll go ahead and design the top part first. So I'm going to switch this to inches and then set my artboard to 13 by 5.8. and that is already in inches. So there I have a nice big rectangle shape. And again, this is going to be for the top of the tumbler. When looking at those top selling designs earlier, one of the ones that I noticed that was making around the $800 mark was a Christmas design. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make a Christmas design as well and show you how easy this can be done in just a few steps. So if you're here in Kittl, you're just going to want to click on Kittl AI and Image Generator. I've already created this prompt because I had an idea of what I wanted, and so I will have this copied down in the description below, but it is a snowflake prompt. Then I've just clicked on Clip Art Style for watercolor, which is one of my favorites. And I usually use this one if I'm going to be making a design where I need multiple different elements and I'm going to arrange them in their own specific type of pattern or design layout. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm looking for. So my next step is just to go ahead and actually use the AI image upscaler, which is right here, just to increase the quality. And then I'll go ahead and remove the background so that it has a transparent background. So next I'm just going to arrange this how I want it to. What the main goal is not to have anything come below this line that would create a harsh line, and make sure that everything is saved where the entire part of the design is within or before the edge of the canvas area so that I don't have anything overlapping. Next, I'm just going to repeat the process with the same prompt to get a few different variations of the snowflake, and then I will just go ahead and rearrange them in a way that I think looks best. So this one is a little bit of a different style, and I almost like it more than this one. So my next step is to try and get a few more results that look exactly like this one, because the style is just a little bit too different for me to combine these two and actually have it look good. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-roll this again. Okay, so this one is a little bit better, but it more so matches the design of the first one. So again, I'm just going to generate again, and this is usually common with pretty much any AI tool as far as trying to get the same type of result again and again. I could use a saved style, meaning I could save one of these and then add it back in here and then have Kittl recreate in the same style. But what I'm going to do, since I need to generate as many or quite a few, I'm just going to keep going and see what I get, and as many as I get of one particular style, then I will use that. So right now I have 3 that would work, and if I can just get one more, then I'll probably just stick with this first style and call it good. Okay, so it gave me another one that was just as matching or as good as I want it to be to match all of these ones. So I'll go ahead and delete this one, and then I'm just going to upscale all 3 of these and remove their backgrounds. Okay, so now that all of those are upscaled and the background is removed, I'm just going to arrange this in a way that I think looks cute. I want them kind of like they're coming out from the top of the cup, so that is why they are cut off at the top. But that's normally typical for the way that these types of designs work on a 40-ounce design. Okay, so now that I have duplicated a few of these and changed the sizing to be a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger, and then move them around, the biggest thing to note again is that none of the design is overlapping on the sides where they would meet or to interfere with the handle where the customer would need to remove it. I might see if this, no, I like it that way. And that is really it. So my next step for the top is just to download this, make sure that this does have the remove background toggled on as well as optimized quality, and then that will download as a transparent PNG and it's ready to be added to my mockup. So now to make the bottom of the design, I need to create a canvas that is 10.5 by 3.7 inches. So back here in Kittl, I'm just going to create that canvas again. And there you can see I have a skinnier, longer type version. It's actually not longer, it's actually a little bit shorter. And now my goal is to create a similar piles of snow that match the color palettes of the snowflakes, if that makes sense. So when I'm doing these for 40-ounce tumblers and I want the bottom and the top to match, I try not to change as much of the prompt as possible to get the same results. So we'll see if this works. So literally all I replaced was a pile of snow with the snowflake part. And then I'm going to switch the aspect ratio to 16.9 so that it comes out longer. And then I'm going to click on the same type of style, and hopefully this gives me what I'm looking for as I see it in my head. Okay, and this actually looks perfect. I could remove the crystal part, or no, I actually don't have the word crystal in there. I didn't really want this like these crystals popping up, so I'm gonna see what else it gives me before I start removing anything to see if it's just the pile of snow part, which if it had just been this pile of snow part, it basically would have been perfect. Okay, so it's going to continue doing it with this little icicle effect. And I mean, it's kind of looks like a magical snow man land, so I'm gonna actually keep it. So I'll just remove the background, and it didn't really create them any longer, but that's okay since I'm going to arrange it just like with the snowflakes. So again, I will upscale them and then remove the background and arrange them real quickly. Okay, so these are my 3 results, and again, I am just making sure that nothing is overlapping on the edge of the canvas so that there is no harsh line, but I do want them placed all the way at the bottom so that there is no bottom white strip left on the bottom of the cup when they actually put this on the tumbler. I'm also going back over here into my AI upscaled folder to grab a few of those snowflakes so that I can add them throughout here, just so it ties in the top of the design. Since they're already upscaled, I just need to click on the background remover again and then go ahead and change the size just a little bit on these, and that's really it. Okay, so again, at this point, I will just go ahead and remove the background, optimize quality, and download. So your next step with these is to mock them up on a tumbler like this so that you have a photo for your Etsy listing. So for me, I mock these up in Photoshop just because they utilize a smart object with the types of mock-ups that I purchase, and they just are really, really realistic, and they tend to convert the best as far as what I've seen. You can get the ones that are Canva frame mock-ups where you can drop them in, but those appear just a little less realistic. They don't have any of the effects. Well, some of them do now. So it really is just a personal preference as far as what you like to mock up in. Again, I've used the same mock-ups for years now, and so this is my personal preference, but you can totally use Canva ones, or you can mock them up in Kittl as well if you have a PNG type mockup that you can add to there and then add the design. So all I'm doing is clicking on the top right here, and then I'll go ahead and add my design in. And so for the top, it was just this one, and as you can see, it fits perfectly because this is sized for that particular tumbler size, and then turn off that one. And then that is really it. So the top will be mocked up, and as you can see, that's how it's laying out. You can see that none of the design is cut off, and the customer won't have to worry about dealing with the handle or removing that if they don't want to. So next, I'll just click on the bottom smart object layer and add the bottom in. And for this one, you do have to drag it down just a bit And then again, let me just turn off that back one and save that. And there is my bottom. So overall, super, super cute design. I have zero doubts that this will sell. So next you would just add this to your Etsy listings. I would recommend creating a few different mock-ups. Normally I have 1 to 2, usually 2 of the same specific mock-up, and then some additional photos explaining what the file does, how to use it, that it's a digital download. And so if you need some help with that, feel free to look at my listings as well. If you do plan on creating these types of full wraps, then again, be sure to look at that distressed Canva template. It will save you a lot of time and not having to worry about sizing that. And that can be found on my shop as well. And real quick, if you are looking for trending designs like this that I deliver every single day, as well as the AI prompts to create them in 4 different prompt generators with those examples of what those would look like. So for example, if I was creating this particular snowflake design, I would also show the prompt being done in Ideogram, in DALL-E 3, and also in Midjourney, so that you have a clear expectation of what it would look like in any of those generators for you to then go ahead and edit and make your own design. And then I also provide the SEO prompts with that. So this is in my Done For You Design Club. It is my main community. I do have another one, but this one focuses primarily on trending designs. As you can see, this member here recently topped 500 designs in just 2 months with a brand new shop. I also have many other members who have reached over 100 sales in just a month to 2 months, as well as people who have put up a listing and seen a sale within 2 hours. Not only does it provide you with a really, really good head start on something that can potentially get you sales as quickly as possible, it also has the most amazing community of supported, like-minded people who are there to help you every step of the way. And I also have a live monthly group coaching call where we all get together to meet. These are also recorded, so if you ever feel like you can't make it, but you have a question, we do have it open where you can submit your questions at any time, and those are recorded for you to access at any time later. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.